In this episode, we're going to add an art gallery to our website. But before we do that, there's a couple of things I want to do. One of them is I'm going to clean up the back or change the background images for each of my pages. Remember, I have index, about, gallery, and contact. That's my cat barking at birds. So I want a different background for each one of these. Now the way this works is that my external style sheet out here, Bruce CSS, is telling the background in the tag body somewhere. Here we go. It's telling the background to be this. Okay. So in my code for my page, let me just go to code alone. In my code for my page, it says right here at the top to go reference this Bruce CSS. So if I put any CSS in the page after that, then we shall overwrite that rule. The last rule wins. As it's reading down this page, it's going to execute this and put that background image in that we have in all 4 pages. If I add new CSS to this page, which I'm going to do here, we'll go back to live and designer mode, and we're going to say plus here, and we want to, you can't see it, let me drag it over here. I'm going to say plus, and we want to create a new, we want to define in page, okay, and that will make us a new style right here. So first it's going to look at Bruce, and then it's going to go to style. So in style, I want to add not a media query. Let me put this up here. I want to make a new selector, and the selector is going to be body. And then I want to go to backgrounds. I want to background image. Go to that background image. I don't know why I always have to do this twice. And then in my images folder, I shall find the background for the about page. So background, about, and say OK. And that's how that's done. So my index page has this background, my about page has that background. And it remembers all the scaling and stuff that we assigned it in the first Bruce background, the cover and the fixed image and all that good stuff. So I'm going to do that to the other 2 pages real quick. So under gallery, I'm going to make sure that my cursor is inserted after this, just to make sure that my new stuff comes in after it. Okay, so define in page, I have a new style. I'm going to say body. I'm going to go to background, images. I'm going to do that a couple of times because I don't know why. And then this is my gallery page, so I'm going to get background portfolio, which is kind of like gallery. Let's make sure I don't have the same image here twice. Oops. Oh yeah, let's go here. That's different. That's different. That's different. Wonderful. Contact page. Same thing. Let's see how, when we enter this, if it ends up in the right place. So, define in page. Yep, right here. Style needs to be under Bruce. I'm going to do a new selector, and it's going to be body. Background, path. One more time. And then this is the contact, background contact. And there it is. So I have that stuff taken care of. I'm going to do a save all, file, save all, and then I'm going to take a look at it in a web browser real quick just to make sure everything's operating smoothly. So we'll come over here, and as I scale this down, it's moving nicely. I have another gallery page background, about background, and all that stuff is good. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, now that I've done that, I can start taking some of the extra text out of my pages. Under my index HTML, I want to do everything except to right here, the About page. So I'm going to go to Design View, get to my About page content, and just take everything out below that and hit Delete. Okay, that should be there. I'm going to go to the About page and take out, again, I'm going to look at this in Design View. It makes this a little easier. I'm going to come down to the About page. I'm even going to take that. I'm going to delete all this stuff. I'm going to come down to Gallery and select everything else and delete it. Alright, looking better. Actually, here, this is my new copy for my headline. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go back to live mode. I'm going to take this, copy it, and then paste it in right here. This is the second line. Now if I copy it and come here and paste it here, oh, it worked this time. Sometimes I lose the fancy tag, and I can either select it and add the fancy tag back onto it, or I select everything except the first letter, paste it, and then I delete the first letter. That works for me too. Alright, so let's go on to the gallery page, and we'll take out, oops, back to design mode. I'm going to take out everything down to gallery. Here we go. There's gallery. I'm going to delete this, and then take out the contact page information and delete that. Alright, so let's try this. Oops. I'll copy that and then we'll go to live. There we go. Just want this to say something different on each page. So copy that. Let's see if this works again. Oops. I'm getting a little clicky. Oh, wonderful. I love it. And I actually don't need it here anymore, so I'm going to go back to design mode and take all of this out as well. So about same thing. I don't need this because there's my headline right up here. Okay, and then lastly for the contact, I will go to the design mode and I shall go all the way down to contact. I shall delete. I shall go back into live view. I shall click and drag this, copy, and do that. I only do this copy and paste stuff because I hate typing and I hate spelling. If I spell something wrong, my customers get very angry. I don't know why. They just don't like it, I suppose. Alright, so I'm going to do a save all. I'm going to take a look at all of these one more time out in Firefox and see if they look okay. So here's my home. So now this line is changing, my content is changing. There, oh, I did that already. About, and that's our gallery. We're going to put our gallery right here in just a moment, and then there's that. Wonderful. Okay, now let's talk about the gallery page. To find, I wanted something interactive and dynamic, and of course be responsive as far as a gallery page is concerned. So I just went out here and started typing in stuff like top lightbox jQuery free. Lightbox are the kind of things that pop up, right? So if I go here, let's see what we got here. Let's try this one. Show me a sample. Overview, demos. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. This is a light box, one of these things that pop up on the page, and then you can scroll through them. Sometimes you can set them for automatic. They have all kinds of ways to dismiss them out here. Click out here. That's a lightbox. For this one, then you can use a lightbox or you can use a slider. A slider is usually one of those things that you see that slide across the page. But it also makes a fine gallery if you can figure out how to get thumbnails into it. I'm doing a free one. There's a lot of paid ones. In fact, the one that I picked is this one right here called Galleria. And I found it by typing in top free sliders jQuery free. I typed free twice because I want it to be extra free. But go through, read the features. There's so many of these things out here, and a lot of these pages are nice enough to put a demo right here so that you can see how they work. So here's this one. This is very nice, I think. And then all the how to load it into your web page and make it work is all usually very clear, unless it's a really complex one. So I'm going to go through the steps that I went through to do this one. First I went to the download page, or I think I went to the page. Let's see. No, it's downloading the code for me right now. So I downloaded that and I opened it, and it ended up looking like this. I had this JavaScript, this license, which I shall ignore. No, I won't ignore the license. Some plugins for some extra stuff here, and then I get one theme. This is the thing. I get one theme. If I want more themes, I have to pay for them, but that's okay. I'm going to go back to that theme river. Excuse me. But over here to Firefox. Okay, so to get to this page, how did I get there? Here we go. So here's the Galleria page. It gives you a sample of, this is like a full-blown one with all kinds of good stuff in it. We don't get to get all of this stuff, but we get enough to get by. I can turn it on to play a slideshow. I can pop it out and enter full screen or do a pop out. So I like all that, all those features. It says here, get started. And this is exactly how I did it. I downloaded from here. I went to the beginner's guide because, well, why not? It goes step by step. It tells you exactly how to do all this stuff. I love it. I love it. Somebody sat there and did all this. Well, of course, so they can sell some of the other galleries, which are kind of cool. Okay, so anyway, so it says this. Here's HTML. We already have our basic HTML set up, so I don't need that. It's telling me that I need jQuery JavaScript framework, and I can either download it from here and have it in my document or accessible to my document, or I can just point to it. This is Google, I think, or somewhere. And all I need to do is put this, it says, include this in the top of your script. I mean in the head of your HTML document. So I'm going to copy this. Let's see if we can. There we go. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my HTML document. I'm going to go right to the code. Oh, I should probably be on the right page. Let's see. That would be the gallery page. And I'm going to go right to the code. In fact, I don't need these other pages. They're just going to confuse me. So I'm going to shut them all except for the gallery page. So here we go. Into code, all the way to the top. I'm going to go right, let's see. I'm going to go right here after style, I believe. Yeah, why not? No, I'm going to go down, way down here, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to click right there and make some space, and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so this is saying access the jQuery library. And now, back over here, I'm going to go over here, and it's going to say to make sure the jQuery library is working, simply add this code to your body tag. So if we throw that just this, copy and put it down here in the body tag, let's put it inside of the area that we're talking about, which would be right here. going to paste it in there temporarily. I should be able to go back to live view, and it should say jQuery works. It also erased everything else, so I'm going to take that out. This happened last time, so I'm not afraid. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, and then it says that my HTML document would look like this. This is what we just pasted in the head script. Whoops. This is the test that we just did and erased. So we're going to move down here to installing the Galleria. It tells me that I need to download it, unzip the file, and I want to place the whole folder where my HTML files are. So I'm going to do that now. So here's the Galleria that I downloaded in my sites folder in the current site that I'm working on, which is this one. I'm just going to drag this whole folder and place it in here. Okay, so that it's available to my current site. So back to Dreamweaver. Having done that, I want to go here. It says, add the following code beneath the jQuery script tag that we just added. So I'm going to add this. There we go. Copy. And it says to add it to just past where we added the last one. So the last one we added was here. I'm going to make some space and paste it in right after it. What I did notice when I did my testing is that this is not the current version. So it's calling a script that's supposed to be in the folder Galleria and that's named this. But as I looked into my files, and now I have a folder called Galleria, and I open up this, I see that the new one is called .2 min JavaScript. So instead of doing this, just to make sure that we get it right, here's another way that you can point to these scripts. I can just drag the script from where it is, drop it right in here, and now it says .2. Everything's the same as before. It's just more accurate if you drag it right out of your folder. Okay, so that's good. Let's see. If you want to know if the Galleria is working, do this and put it in the body and find out if it's working. Let's try this one more time. See if it works. Down here, paste that in. Come back over to live. The Galleria works. Hallelujah. So back to code. I'm going to take that out. Come back over here. And now it says the HTML file should look like this. There's the first script we added, the second script, and there's the tester. And we are done with that part. So right now it says this will style the dimensions of the gallery and should be put up into the head tag. Now we have a style portion already in the head tag because we just did the body. We added the body that changes the background. So I'm just going to copy this right here and copy it, and I'm going to go find that style. So up here, right after body, I'm going to add a new rule or a new, oh, that's it. That'll work. So if I go back over here under style, I should see that, and this is the way it's styled. It's giving it a height and a width. Okay? Well, this is so exciting. All right, we're getting there. Now we want to add the images. Yay, finally adding the images. So it says to put this inside the body tag. So I'm going to drag all of that. I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to come down here where this gaping hole has been. I'm going to paste all that in here. So it's a div tag. It's adding a div tag that is saying here's image 1, image 2, image 3. And if I look at live right now, I have broken links because those images don't exist in my folder. So I'm going to use images from my folder instead of these images. So I'm just going to take those, get rid of them. I'm going to go to my file, into my images folder, and my artwork is called Art A, Art B, Art C, and so forth. So I'm just going to drag these the same way we did before. If I drag these, they're a little bit out of order. B, C, G. How many of these things do I have? E. I tried dragging more than one at a time. It didn't work. And F. I think that's all. Yep, that's it. Okay. So now if I come back over to live, I should have images. I have images, but they're a little bit stacked. So, time to go back to the instructions. Load a theme. It's saying that I want to load this theme, this little piece of script, right after the images that we just put in. Okay? And then to activate the gallery, add this. So if I scroll down here, it should look something like this. Right now we have this div tag with the class Galleria and then all of our images. And then this little piece of script goes right after it. So I'm going to copy that, come back over here, go to my code. Right after my div tag, I'm going to paste that script in. Okay? So, whoops. Alright, so here we are. Let's see if this works back over here. Much better now. Look at our little slider box. It is a little big for the area that it's in. Now remember, we put it inside this main container right here. So I want it to fit in that main container. Fortunately, they've given me a rule that I put in the style section called Galleria. So my width for this is not going to be in pixels, but in percentage. And I'm going to give that a 100% width. And if I do that and refresh, now it fits a little bit better inside this container. All right, and it will scale. The problem is it'll always be, the box will always be 4,000 wide or 4,000 high. I mean 400 pixels high. So in this case, well, let's do something else. I want my gallery to go all the way across. I don't want the picture to be small on here. So I'm going to do one more thing. In here, remember, my style is going to overwrite all this other stuff. Remember, it was the main box that made this thing like 65 pixels here, or 60 pixels here and 35 pixels here. Well, let's write another one inside styles to overwrite the rule that we have set now. So I'm going to do a new selector, and this is going to be for main, and it is going to do my width percent is going to be 90, just like the bar, the navigation bar. And if I come down here to position, I can make that a percent as well, and we'll make it 5%. And that should do it. Let's come back over here. Much better. Okay. I like that better already. Okay. The other thing I want to do is, I'm going to test this real quick. I'm going to do a save all. I'm going to come over here and try this out and see how it looks. It looks a little small here. But what does it look like as a phone size? Yeah, I don't like the way that's pushing this down right here. So I can fix that too. And I'd like it to go as wide as this goes, or a little bit wider anyway. So I'm going to come back over here in my styles, back to my Galleria size, and this height at 400 pixels is actually making this stretch out too far that direction when I squeeze it down. So I'm going to use another measurement, and it's off the screen so you can't see it, but it is VW, yeah, VW, which stands for viewport width, and I can take a percentage of the height and make it the width. So I'm going to make it 50% and see if that doesn't work out a little bit better. So let's refresh this. Oh yes, I'm liking that much better now. As I squeeze down, everything is working much better. Okay, I like that. So let's do a save all one more time. Take one more look out here and see if this doesn't work fine. Okay, so I have a bit of a narrow screen, so I'm going to squeeze this down. Alright, so I have all these things going on. I have this working. As I go down smaller, it gets smaller. Lets all my other stuff come in. So there's phone size right here. Everything else is still working for me. Is this not wonderful? Okay. One more thing before I forget is that on that website that I got the information from, which was this one, there's a lot of different options that I can do too. Back to docs. Let's see, plugins, options, using options. So it tells me how to use these options, and then I have all this list of options that I can do that I don't have to, pay extra for. So I can look through here, add the code that it tells me to add, and it'll give me even more functionality. So this is fairly easy to figure out, and I hope that you find one out there that you like. Read the key features and find out if what it does, and try to install it and see if you have great success. All right, and I'll see you on the next movie.